Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my review of the death battle between Jotaro Kujo and Kenshiro. For those of you that are new to these reviews, I focus less on the animation and humor of Death Battle, and instead focus on the research and critical analysis. You see, I wish to improve my own skills in these fields, and these prediction/review videos are a perfect way for me to do so. This video will consist of me going over what I got wrong in my prediction, what I got right, and then what I learned. I will also still be including the critique section from my last review, although I don't have nearly as many issues with this match. First, what I got wrong. Kenshiro won the death battle. I was pretty surprised by this, although with my losing streak, I guess I should have seen this coming. Ultimately, my failure to predict this outcome stemmed from me not fully grasping the nature of Kenshiro's Muso Tensei. I didn't think it provided intangibility. I thought that was an illusion. But Death Battle found that it did. That intangibility is what won him the match. I based my conclusion off of the precedent set in Shredder vs. Silver Samurai, where the winner was decided by who could land a killing blow first. And without that intangibility, it seemed certain that it would be Jojo, thanks to his time-stopping and various other stand abilities. However, if Kenshiro could activate Muso Tensei before Star Platinum pulled any tricky business, then the intangibility would not be something Jojo could easily counter. Just because stands are intangible doesn't mean they can interact with other intangible things. As such, once Kenshiro activated this technique, it would only be a matter of time before he landed a fatal blow on Jotaro. Aside from this core mistake, the main other thing I got wrong was with regards to Star Platinum's speed. I saw the same arguments as everyone else for Star Platinum being light speed, but I didn't think there was enough evidence. However, I should have expected Death Battle to go with the idea of a light speed Star Platinum, as they concluded Naruto was light speed based off of a similarly small pool of evidence. Next up, I was unaware of Star Platinum throwing this small tower, as this happened exclusively in the OVA, and I only watched the anime and manga versions of this fight. Also, I argued in my prediction that Kenshiro wouldn't be able to see Star Platinum, but Death Battle made it clear that Kenshiro's various techniques would indeed allow him to see it. I should have seen that coming, so my bad there. The rest of the information they provided I was aware of, even if I didn't bother discussing it in my video, including the feat of Star Platinum punching these hard-as-diamond teeth. However, my discussion of this feat will be saved for the critique section. That's everything I got wrong, now for what I got right. I was largely aware of the majority of the character's abilities and stats, and while I was missing a crucial piece of information, my method for choosing a winner was sound. Namely, I chose based off of who could land a fatal blow first, and that's what Death Battle did as well. The only difference was that I didn't realize the true nature of Muso Tensei, which ultimately led me to the incorrect conclusion. That's everything I got right, now for what I learned. The primary lesson I learned this time around is that I am too stingy when it comes to accepting the possibility of light speed combatants. Part of why I am like this is because the Versus community is overtly quick to claim that each and every character is faster than light, which has kinda desensitized me to it. However, I knew from past experience, specifically with Naruto vs. Ichigo, that Death Battle is happy to accept the idea of lightspeed characters, even if there's only a small pool of evidence. As such, I should be more willing to accept such possibilities in the future. The rest of my Death Battle related mistakes largely stemmed from me not having enough time to cover everything. For example, I didn't know about the Star Platinum Tower feat because I didn't have time to watch all 3 separate versions of the Jojo vs. Dio fight scene. However, I did make a pretty hefty mistake and learned a pretty important lesson outside of the context of Death Battle. I would like to apologize once again to the commentators who I treated less than kindly in my last video. I made some comments to you both directly and on Twitter which didn't respect your opinions as much as they were due, and also I just generally acted like my own opinions were worth more than yours. I would like to pretend that this happened solely because of my illness, but we all know that's no excuse. Everyone's opinion has worth, and no one is better than anyone else, especially me. So, again, I apologize. And if I don't sound entirely emotive, don't take it the wrong way. This apology is sincere. It's just hard to emote when you're sick, and it's also hard for someone as prideful as me to admit when I'm wrong. So, again, I apologize. That's everything I learned. Now for my critiques. Unlike last time, I do generally agree with Death Battle's conclusions this time around. I do believe they did their proper research and analysis, and their argument for why Kenshiro would win was believable and well presented. I accept his victory. However, they did make one or two analysis choices that were more than a tad deceptive, which I feel the need to address. The main thing was with the diamond teeth feat. Now, the reason I didn't discuss this feat in my prediction is because it's not a measurable feat. There's a lot of misconceptions abound regarding the nature of diamonds and the differences between hardness and toughness. Hardness gives a material resistance to pressure, while toughness gives resistance to physical trauma. Diamonds have incredibly high hardness, but they also have incredibly low toughness. This means they can withstand ridiculous amounts of raw pressure, but it also means they are very easy to shatter. A small impact, even from someone like me, could break a diamond, and thus we find the issue with the feat. Star Platinum didn't destroy the teeth by slowly compressing them. He destroyed them through punches, aka physical trauma. And in order to measure that, we need to know how tough the teeth are. The hardness is irrelevant. Unfortunately, we have no way of knowing how tough the teeth are, as nothing is stated about their toughness, which makes the feat impossible to measure, and that is why I didn't discuss it in my prediction. Yet Death Battle did, and in the process, they presented some information that was simply incorrect. First, they stated that it would take 3 million tons of pressure to crush a diamond, which is true. However, where they went wrong was in stating that Star Platinum would have to be punching with 3 million tons of force to destroy those teeth. That is incorrect. Death Battle converted hardness into toughness, which is not how that works. Those are two entirely different forms of resistance to two entirely different forms of stimuli. To convert hardness into toughness is as irrational and impossible as converting fire resistance into ice resistance. It just doesn't work like that. They are completely unrelated statistics. For them to do this shows that they have a fundamental misunderstanding of the engineering principles involved. But it gets worse. I have a sneaking suspicion that Death Battle knew this wasn't how the feat work, and yet they pretended it was anyway. Why do I think this? Simple. Did you notice how, in the post-battle analysis for these characters, this diamond teeth feat was nowhere to be seen? When they were discussing the strength and durability of the characters, they were happy to discuss Star Platinum throwing that tower, but that could only weigh a few hundred tons at most. So why didn't they discuss the supposed 3 million tons he could punch with from this feat? It seems like that would be important, especially considering that Kenshiro only tanked 1,000 tons. I refuse to believe that they forgot about this feat, which means the only explanation is that they omitted it because they knew it wasn't legitimate. Which raises the question, why did they pretend this feat worked this way in the first place if they weren't going to use it? The only answer I can think of is that they were trying to make the fight seem more even than it truly was. It is quite common for Death Battle to withhold information until after the battle in order to make the fight seem more even. But this is entirely different. This time they intentionally stated falsehoods in order to make the fight seem more fair, and that is unacceptable. A big part of what made me fall in love with Death Battle in the first place was the educational aspect of it. I loved getting to learn not only about the fictional characters, but also about the science and engineering. For them to intentionally lie to their audience, not only about the capabilities of a character, but also about the rules of real engineering principles, is a blatant assault upon a cornerstone of what makes death battles so great in the first place. Now, I don't want to believe that Death Battle would do something like this intentionally. I would prefer to believe that this was just an unfortunate mistake that resulted from a miscommunication between the writing staff and the research team. In which case, oh well, accidents happen. But were I to find out that this was, in fact, a lie intended to be a lie, then I would be very disappointed. That's my main issue with this episode, although I do have one other critique. It's pretty small, but I might as well talk about it while I'm here. In their post-battle analysis, they argue that since Jotaro's time stopping has been countered before, that Kenshiro likely could as well. Now, I don't have any issues with this argument. It makes sense. However, the evidence they used to support it, namely the footage they used, wasn't really an effective example. In the instance they showed, Jojo's time stopping was indeed being countered, but this was only possible because his opponent was a long-range sniper. Since Kenshiro is almost exclusively a melee combatant, this example doesn't really apply to him. Furthermore, this was at a point in Jojo's history when his time-stopping ability was at its weakest. Throughout this arc, he could only stop time for 2 seconds or less, a far cry from his full potential of 5 seconds. In short, while their overall argument here is perfectly legitimate, this particular piece of evidence doesn't really support that argument, as it is neither applicable to this matchup, nor is it an effective demonstration of JoJo's maximum potential. And that is all of my critiques, which means we've reached the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this death battle, and I even more so hope you're excited for the next time. I have been wanting this match for ages. I absolutely look forward to researching it and doing a prediction for you guys. Regardless, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you'll stop by again for my next video. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you got something to say, subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, have a fantastic day.